And surprise, we're back. Full house this morning. The professor's in the house. Juju Phelps in the house. And I came back off vacation early because the beach looked like this when we left yesterday. So it was time to come back. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, a great week after Christmas. Great weather we've had, but don't get used to it. First of next week, we're talking about highs in the 40s and lows in the 20s.
I'll take that, too.
I'll take that, too. Yeah, I've had enough of the warm weather.
I've had enough of moist, fog, wet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The joints ache a little bit more when it's weather like this.
Yeah.
For me.
I'm okay with that. I've not been real bothered by that. But the weather was nice. Got in a couple good days of golf. I'll take that. But glad to be back and glad to be back in the saddle. A lot of things to talk about. A lot of things happened. The mustard beat the mayonnaise last night or yesterday afternoon. The Tar Heels went down, but Mac is back. My God, let's get that out there and get that straight. The Mac is back. Did Sam Howell play? I was on the road, so I don't know.
He did.
So he played, and they still got beat that bad.
And they finished 6 and 7. Am I right?
Yes, they were 6 and 6
with a losing season.
Yeah, and they were supposed to be a contender.
They were top 10
top 10.
preseason.
I was going to say they were in it. I thought they were in the top 10.
Yeah.
Now, what does that?
He's got to answer some questions.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think I said it yesterday, maybe on Twitter. Their offense is okay, even though they lost a couple of running backs, went in the NFL last year in wide receivers, and now they're going to probably lose Sam Howell. Yeah. But their concepts on offense, they do a lot of different things. Defense, they're just not good. They don't tackle.
Not good at all.
I don't know if they line up improperly or what.
Is that because it's a one-sided head coaching philosophy? Because Mike's an offensive coach, right?
He hired Jason Bateman, I think that's his name, as the defensive coordinator, and I can't remember
wait a minute, he's an actor.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's the problem. Maybe that's where the problem is.
His last name's Bateman. Maybe his first name might be something.
Maybe he should have hired his sister, Justine. maybe
would
she'd
work.
do better.
But they got to do something defensively. I mean, because if you look at recruiting rankings, they're top 10, top 20. They're getting the recruits, especially up in Virginia and different parts. They're not developing guys, especially over on the defensive side of the football, and they got to fix that because you can't play like they've played this year.
I don't know what the statistics were, but they gave up a lot of points. I noticed yesterday, I just watched a few minutes, a couple of those long passes that SC hit for touchdowns. I mean, there was no safety help. It was just guys just hung out there one-on-one. They got beat.
And that's what you were saying. There's nothing kind of there.
They gave up over 300 yards on the ground, which says that they didn't have the want-to try to stop them.
South Carolina had all the want-to in the world.
They did.
They were happy to be there.
Nothing to lose.
That's
a dangerous opponent when you have somebody that has nothing to lose.
And they had a guy who's the graduate transfer who was the quarterback.
Yeah.
But they GA, and they moved him out to wide receiver. And they brought in a guy who hadn't played quarterback in a couple of years.
And he went.
So
Sam
Howell
went 9 for 9.
So wait a minute, Sam Howell didn't play?
No, this is over on
We're
South
talking
Carolina.
about the Gamecock.
South Carolina.
The
Gotcha.
Gamecock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just seem to have. They want. Like you said, Mike. It was the want to.
That's the way it is in bowl games.
Yeah,
they're exhibitions.
They want to have fun too.
They want to have fun.
I asked you a question that came up of these games that got canceled. Of course, some teams opted out or had to bow out, and they found opponents for them. The ones that got canceled, what happens to the money?
I don't know.
One of those is NC State.
The schools still get their cut. NC State and UCLA still get their cut, I guess.
But the kids had a great trip to California.
Yeah,
they did.
Too bad.
How about the fans? How about all the fans that went all the way there and spent?
I know.
Bands didn't get to perform.
And where did I miss it? I thought that the Pinstripe Bowl got canceled, but they played Maryland and Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And that was embarrassing for Virginia Tech.
Didn't Virginia Tech's new coach come in and say, we're going to play some defense here? And,
54-10.
Didn't play much in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're talking about these opt-outs or the schools. Did they get a cut?
I always thought they got something, but maybe that came from ESPN.
I put a word out to some friends at East Carolina, obviously, because they didn't play, and they had a sizable amount of money because they went up to Washington D.C. like a week before, up to Maryland, and to get ready for their bowl game.
Most of these plays did.
Yeah. And I think they had to cover the cost themselves. They got to bite the bullet. I don't think they're getting any money from
How
the
about
bowls.
Texas A&M? They opted out of the game
Mhm.
against Wake
Mhm.
because of COVID. Is that?
But Wake picked up Rutgers.
I know they picked up Rutgers. Well, how about Texas A&M's cut?
Yeah,
They won't get one because they didn't participate.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
and I don't think they really need it.
No, I don't.
No, they don't.
One of the richest programs in the country. No.
How about Wednesday's game? How about you Sooners?
Oh, they look great.
47-32.
Wanted to play. Bob Stoops kept the program going after Riley left abruptly, and quarterback looked great. They played good on D most of the game. I think it sets the tone for Brent Venables to come in and keep it going. They won 11 games. That's not bad.
And he will introduce something that is completely foreign to Oklahoma, which is defense.
Defense.
Yeah.
And some
At
toughness.
least lately.
Yeah.
And a
Toughness.
sense of toughness. Yeah.
Of course, yesterday South Carolina beat North Carolina 38-21. You said that North Carolina was down 18-0 at one
I
point.
think, was it 18-0?
Yeah,
They
sure
got
was.
down big early.
And then the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, Purdue and Tennessee, controversial call at the end.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
But, you know, if the official, even though the whistle hadn't blown, if he said the forward progress was stopped,
It looked like it was.
It did.
I thought it did.
And
And
did you see
the
the
other guy was
guy-
pulling. I didn't think you could pull. I thought you could push, but I mean, I thought you could do the
Pull.
scrum, but I didn't know you could do the pull.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like you. I thought the
and
far
Tennessee
part-
went for it twice on fourth down, didn't even go for a field goal.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bowl game.
The old Three Stooges line, right? They're walking into a boxing match, and the three of them say, press, pull.
Yeah.
That's what reminded. You had one guy trying to pull him forward, and there was a guy behind him, I guess, trying to push him as well. But, yeah, I think his forward progress was stopped.
Four said uninspired defensive play.
By
There's a
whom?
lot
Carolina?
of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all
There's
over
a
the country.
lot of that.
Yeah.
And you know, when Nick Saban has even made a statement that nobody can stop anybody anymore. And part of that is rule change.
Yeah.
They have skewed the rules so that it's hard for defenses to
Especially on the RPOs. You
Yeah.
know,
Run
RPOs.
pass option, yeah.
And offensive linemen can block 3 to 5 yards down the field. And that makes it very difficult for linebackers and whatever to
That's a
try to
good point.
figure out. And now in the NFL, it's 1 yard.
Yeah. Big difference.
Big
3 to
difference.
5 and 1.
1 yard.
And I thought the Michigan State Pitt game in the Peach Bowl, that was a good game.
was a
I
good
really
game.
thought Pitt was going to pull that out.
Even without
and with Pickett, and they were down to their third quarterback. You know, their second string quarterback got hurt early. And came out with the sling
Yeah.
back into the game. So that one could have been a little bit different.
really the pick six is
Yeah, it would have been. I think. I really think that had Pitt been able to pull that off, that would have really made the ACC look a whole lot better against Michigan State, because Michigan State has been viewed as a really strong contender out of the Big Ten.
Yeah, number 10 team in the country and had a good year. Their coach, they're going the opposite way of recruiting. They're bringing in transfers. They're trying to plug their holes that way more than about any other big-name school. And, yeah, I watched that whole game last night, and I thought Pitt was in a really good shape.
Yeah.
And then some turnovers, and their offense wasn't very good because they had a third-team quarterback, and you're limited on what you can do.
Well,
And they had a lead with about 6 minutes left.
You've had no snaps.
Yeah.
You've had no, they were talking about how limited the playbook would be because he hasn't had any exposure, third team. And then one of the questions the commentator said, wonder what they do if he gets hurt.
That's right.
Do you have anything left? Or
Do you go back into the old single wing?
Or no, you go to a wide receiver that played quarterback in high school, or somebody along those lines. Of course, Wake and Rutgers play today. 5-7 Rutgers team, the Scarlet Knights. I know it's just somebody in there. Washington State, Central Michigan, they play today at noon. And, of course, Cincinnati, Alabama, Georgia, and Michigan. And I'm going to go out on a limb just a little bit when we talk about those college playoff games. But the other game that I wanted to mention, let me scroll back down through here. I was so excited before Christmas that the Golden Knights dispatched the Tigers from Missouri.
Very happy for Drinkwitz.
Yes,
Drink the
very,
water.
very happy.
Don't
for
drink the
Drinkwitz.
water, I should say.
Very happy for Drinkwitz.
Yep.
Of course, the Boston College ECU got canceled with the Military Bowl. Louisville finally made a little bit of a comeback. Air Force is nothing to sneeze at. They're 10-3, but still, Scott Satterfield's not doing as well as he had early, and I want to say he's in his third year. Because Drinkwitz did 1 year. Sean Clark just finished his second year, so that would be Scott Satterfield's 3 years into it. So that should be working things out. Now, somebody, who did I tell you? Some big name is coming in to be his defensive coordinator. I want to say that was either a head coach in college or NFL, and I can't remember who it was now. Then the other game, my Tigers look anemic, just anemic is all you can say. I don't think DJ is there next year. They held Shipley to 61 yards. And Iowa State quarterback,
catch a couple passes.
Yeah, Iowa State quarterback Purdy was the leading passer at 204.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It was a defensive game.
Was ugly.
Lackluster offense.
Was ugly.
Do you give props to Clemson for having won 10 games, 11 years in a row?
Well, yeah, only 3 teams have done it.
But the ACC is so weak. So weak. Carolina, preseason top 10, and they finished 6 and 7. You know, I mean, I guess.
But what's the SEC's bowl record, or does it
1
even
5
matter?
right now.
1 and 5.
1 and 5.
So
but,
Clemson would be the same. I mean, ACC would be the same. They were 0-3 going into the Clemson game, if I'm not mistaken. They were one of 3 conferences that had not won a bowl game.
Yeah,
ACC was.
Big 10 and Big 12. They've got winning records in the bowl so far, don't they?
I think. Yeah, I need to look and see.
Well, see, Texas Tech won, Oklahoma won. Of course, Oklahoma State hasn't played yet.
Wisconsin.
They won.
They won last night. That's way past my bedtime.
Oh, yeah.
20-13 over Arizona State. And then the games today, of course, the big games are going to be the semifinal games. And listening to talking heads, I've got a couple thoughts on that. But let me squeeze a break in first, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the upcoming.
Alternative rock band from the 80s. Right?
Burning down the house.
Burning down the house. David,
untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
You know, I really need to get that paid subscription behind the lines, behind the scenes here of the conversations that we have.
I know it.
I don't know if anybody heard us. We were just to what we were talking about. Some stunning news, just a passing in Lincoln. You'd consider him an icon, but
Mom's Sub Shop.
David Melton of Mom's Sub Shop passed away just a few days ago, and thoughts and prayers to them. We were just talking about we used to eat there, and they just recently sold it, and just kind of stunning, especially when he's the same age as, he's younger than you.
Yeah, your age.
Our age, yeah.
Yeah, I remember David, sweet guy. And, he played football at Lincoln under Von Ray Harris in the 70s. His father was director of the Lincoln County Mental Health Department for a number of years, later went into real estate, had some holdings. But, Mom's Sub Shop was an icon in Lincoln. And, and the way they named
and where it used to be, where it started was beside the old Winn-Dixie, which is now Social Services building. It was on the end, and if I'm not mistaken, where they were at was Eckerd's at one time.
That's right.
And then they opened up Mom's Sub Shop, and it stayed there.
Dave Warlick Drive.
And then they moved it down there in the old – somebody had a car lot there. I don't remember who that was.
Yeah, on Dave Warlick Drive,
Right below Factory
And, they
Mattress.
never changed their formula. It was always you could get a Boger City, you could get a Lincoln.
There were some people's names in there.
Yeah, people's names in there, and David just made those sandwiches day after day, and Darla was a character, and fun place to go.
Yeah. It was, but
sad.
Let me give you a couple of things here. Good morning, Bill. Glad to have you with us this morning. Four said, take the roughing the quarterback calls away and go back to football. Then defensive play will come back, and offensive play will take a major setback, and that don't sell tickets and eyeballs, and that's where that problem. Same thing in basketball. The rules are skewed again in basketball. There was one call that really bothered me, and I wished I could remember the game that it was in, but it was a throwback to a receiver. It was a lateral, and then he threw a pass the defensive player came in, arms up, trying to block it, did get a piece of the ball, and fell into the quote-unquote passer and had a roughing the passer call. Now, to me, it should be like a punt. If you get a piece of the ball on a punt, you can annihilate the punter.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, because you were making a legitimate play. Yeah. He tipped this ball, and this was not a passer. And it was not a
flagrant.
Right.
Obviously.
I mean, his hands were up, and when he jumped and fell into him, I thought that was a terrible call. I thought that was just a terrible call. And, because if you're making a legitimate play for the ball and get a piece of it, there should be no foul. Same thing. If a ball's tipped coming out of the quarterback's hands on a pass, you can annihilate a receiver.
Yeah.
Because all bets are off then. The ball's been tipped, and, it's free ball. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if that, that's what made me think of it for when you said that.
But the powers that be do not want defenses to come back.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Force said once the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage, they become a runner, no longer a quarterback. Open season for defensive players on runners, even quarterback. Too many rules to protect offensive players. You think about, and I heard this yesterday when I was driving back, talking about they got into the conversation, which is the age-old conversation of who's the GOAT, Michael or LeBron, okay? And you look at it, if Michael had the wherewithal to do the things that a Russell Wilson or a LeBron James and spend $1 million on a trainer and a chef and a masseuse and a yoga master and do all these things to take care of your body, Michael was up all night playing cards, drinking, and smoking cigars.
Yeah.
And then put up the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Nobody did that even back then. Even back in the 80s and 90s, they didn't have personal trainers and anything like that.
And they needed they needed cornermen is what they needed. If you think about some of the games that went on and how rough it was.
Yeah.
There was a thing on when we were checking into the hotel, and it was about the 84-85 Celtics
rivalry.
Maybe Kareem's last year, getting close to it, and they just got blown out in the first game in Boston, and all the media was writing that that Kareem was done, he couldn't play, and then the second game he came back and just annihilated them. But watching how rough it was, and just the shots that were taken at each other and stuff.
Oh yeah,
they couldn't do that today.
Well, no,
and I'm not interested in watching basketball where the players, run 35 feet and shoot, and then run 35 feet the other way and shoot, and then there's no real basketball in it to me.
No, the Detroit Pistons made dirty basketball a work of art, didn't they?
They did.
With Lambeer and all those guys.
Yeah, bad boys.
But even the Celtics.
They were rough.
McHale
was
and
elbowy.
Bird, Bill Walton,
Cowens.
Yeah,
Dave Cowens.
That was a little bit beforehand, but Dave Cowens.
Dave Cowens was the enforcer.
Yeah, the big redhead. Yeah. I mean, that was. I think you can get too far with it, but you can. Yeah. It always seems in anything that goes on, you can't get that pendulum to stop in the middle.
No.
If it's up here, well, we got to make some changes, make changes. Okay, we're good now. Well, all you've done is completely do a 180, and you've went the other way.
You're talking about college football. They got to do something about rule changes. Is the targeting rule because it is so inconsistent. Don't know what it is. Somehow look at it, and they'll have plenty of time this off season. But I don't know if they'll do that or not
because of the safety side. They're going to err in the. And I get that, but you can go too far.
Yeah, again, it comes then unless maybe simplify it or make it more of a penalty if you're called for it, not miss the rest of the game and the next half game. Make it a 2-game suspension or something.
I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is, but they got to figure out a way. And I also read this weekend that early next week, maybe. Is it early next week? The week prior to the national championship game.
That'll be next week.
Yeah, it's on a Monday night. So that weekend, all the commissioners from all the major conferences are going to be meeting in that Friday, Saturday, Sunday to talk about the playoff, the 12-team playoff, and try to move it forward.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about other things. You know, I'm still confused on what those commissioners can really do because the presidents are the ones that say yay and nay.
Well, maybe it's the presidents and the commissioners that are meeting.
I don't know.
I have to go back and read the story, but supposedly they're going to have a very important meeting, and they're going to try to push some of these things. And what I was trying to get at, maybe they'll try to push some of these rule changes forward too.
I got two things that I want to touch on this morning. One of them is the playoffs, because that is today. The semifinals, as we know.
The only two bowls that matter.
That really matter. And then
although I always felt the Rose Bowl mattered. I don't care who's playing.
Yes, yeah. And the Rose Bowl will get more eyeballs than any other bowl, regardless of who's playing in it.
Just
nationally. It doesn't have to just be the teams that are in it.
Most bowl games are getting better numbers than your NBA games are, regular NBA games. I think if you go back, some of the bowl games are getting better numbers than what the NBA got on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
It is amazing, given the fact that only two bowl games actually matter as far as the playoffs go.
One topic is the actual playoff. The second topic is, are bowl games worth saving? And so that's two things. Let me go playoffs first. Talking heads. Cincinnati has 2 first-round corners. Not one, but 2. Alabama has not seen that. Now, as much as I would love to see Cincinnati pull the upset, I would love to see a Cincinnati-Michigan matchup. Okay, if I wanted to, that would be my dream matchup right there. I don't. Somebody had posted in our little chat that we have that he was offered Cincinnati in 41. I would put the house up.
Yes,
I believe.
I
believe
would
I'd put the house up for 41.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Cincinnati will get beat in double digits. I think Alabama's giving 14. Is that the line? 13, 14.
13 and a half.
Maybe. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think it'll be a closer game than you think. And I honestly, and they got Georgia in 10, and I think Michigan's going to win that game straight up. I think they beat Georgia. It's a different brand of ball, and I think you got a group that's coming in there hungry, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan win that game. I mean, I think Alabama wins. I just don't think it's a runaway, and I think Michigan wins. What's your thoughts?
I like Michigan. The way they play, their physicality, they're very balanced. Of course, obviously, they run the football, and Georgia's front seven is renowned for what they've done this year. But I just like their momentum. I think they're that good. I'm like you. I like Michigan straight up. I think Georgia was exposed a little bit by Alabama. Badly in the secondary. Offensively, they don't wow you, do they? I mean,
well, JT Daniels, is he out? Is he in?
Well, it's the other guy.
What's what I'm saying. So that's who they were relying on from the first of the year. Now they've been able to recover, but there was some talk of whether he would play or not.
I think Stetson's
okay.
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett. I couldn't think of his last name.
He's better at the run option. He's not a backup. He's not a backdrop quarterback. He doesn't have a great arm. I hope. I would love to see a Michigan-Cincy final. May not be good for ratings. Although Midwest,
I think it would be better for ratings because nobody wants to see the same old SEC teams in.
No, if it's Georgia and Bama, the rest of the country won't be watching.
No, that'll be a southeastern audience.
Yeah.
I think one reason I think Michigan can win that game, and here's why. You go back and you mentioned about the defense for Georgia. About the time that Georgia's defense, they had their worst game in the SEC championship game. The same time that the rumors started coming out about their defensive coordinator going to Oregon to be the defensive coordinator, or going to Oregon to their staff.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a good game.
No.
He's still coaching. I just kind of wonder. We talk about the players not being invested and all in and having the will and all that. You wonder if
didn't Saban blame Sarkisian for that because he was leaving or something? I don't remember.
I just think it's human nature for, if you're a defensive coach like he is, to put all your focus.
How can you
when you know you got this, waiting for you?
I really blame Oklahoma's less than inspiring performance in a number of games. I think Riley had it on his mind all season.
I think you're right. I agree with you.
That SC was in the mix for him, and as a result, I just don't think he coached a good year at all.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think it'll be a close game between Cincinnati and Alabama. Maybe first half, they'll make a couple of big plays in the second half, and it could be a close game. But then all of a sudden, a couple of quick scores. A pick six or something, and it turns out to be a 14 or 20-point win, something like that.
I hope not.
I mean, I could see Alabama, Michigan.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a pretty good matchup.
Alabama, Michigan would be the most attractive from a national standpoint because you got great brands there, going in the championship game.
And then the other topic, just to touch on it. Are bowl games worth saving?
Well, that's the question.
And here's let me give you a couple of different reasons why I say that. The first one is there are a lot of them that are not very good. Now that Tennessee-Purdue, that was
probably the best game.
Two mules fighting over a turnip last night. Not a great game. Not two great school programs.
1,300 yards of offense, though.
Over 400 yards between both teams in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay? So, tuned in, nail biter. I'm on top of it. Yeah. But most of the bowl games that I will watch are teams that I have some type of interest in. Yeah. And I'll watch football just to watch football. But with the changing of how we view things and do things and the games that got canceled at the last minute and those kind of things, it makes you wonder. And how many bowl games did I watch? Even the Clemson game. There was nobody in the upper deck.
Nobody in the upper deck.
Nobody in the upper deck. And the Smurf Turf game, the one out in Boise, there wasn't 5,000 people there. That place was deserted.
Well, how about App's game? How many people were at App's bowl game? A couple hundred?
No. I have to go back and look because I think I made a point to look at. I saw something where they had each bowl game and again, it's a little tricky. Is it paid attendance or people in the seats?
People in the seats.
I'm more interested in the people in the seats.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, me too.
But I think App.
What did
15, and especially
I say 15,000.
15,000.
Especially
sold.
If you talk about like the Panthers, turnstile and ticket sales are two different animals.
Yeah, yeah.
I want turnstile.
I
numbers.
do too. Yeah.
There's only one team that does that in the NFL. It's the Steelers. Everybody else, it's how many tickets were sold. Not in the house.
Talking about that, they talk about the Steelers. Let's see, the Steelers, the Cowboys, and I think the Packers are the three NFL teams,
Mr. Owner,
most closely related to college football because of the way they travel.
Yeah.
Most NFL teams don't have a huge travel college teams, you got people that don't miss a game, regardless of where it's at. Yeah. But those three teams, those people travel. They travel to go see them, which is a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah, wherever the Steelers play,
there's an audience. there's fans.
They're going to have their fans. I'll tell you something else. Went to the Panthers-Bucks game. There were more red jerseys.
Were you bored? Really bored? Yeah.
There were more red jerseys or Brady jerseys in the stands than there were Panther blue.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm serious.
And it wasn't over the Bucks; it was over Tommy.
Yeah,
if
it was
Tommy
Tom. It
weren't
was all
there,
about
that
Tommy.
that would have not been the case.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't Ryan Suckup jerseys there, the Hickory kid?
Yeah.
6. There were 6. I counted 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me take a break. We'll be back.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Keeper sent me a note. He said bowl games are useless.
Yeah, that's his mantra right now.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. But we have the discussion. And, of course, we are on the same page. I do want to see the playoffs expanded. I do not like the buys. I'll say that. I'd rather go 8 or 16. I don't like the 12.
Okay. I get it.
And I'm okay with cutting back the regular season a little bit. And I would like to see the Group 5 split off into another division that has their own playoff. Right. Division 2 is what, 28 teams, Stu?
Yeah.
What is FCS? Is it 28?
28 or 24, maybe 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
We still hadn't played that championship. Montana State and who is it?
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State.
Yeah.
They play after New Year's.
After New Year's.
Next week. Next Saturday, a week from Saturday.
That won't be bad. They'll sort of have the show to themselves, or will they?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. I was trying to think that would be just before
7th,
the national
6th.
championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's worked for years. That's why I've never understood it. But I hate to make this correlation between the two, but the bowl system is almost like American Legion baseball. The old timers want to keep it. We want to keep it and protect ours, whether it's got merit, whether it's justified anymore. We're going to keep it because we've always had it. I want the best environment for the players and the fans is what I want. That's what I want.
Maybe consider this. You hear and read about TV executives in the month of December, and the only thing that sells right now, at least for advertising wise, unless you got some kind of over-the-top, reality show, are live events, live sporting events.
And I
especially.
think that came from last year when we didn't have them.
Yeah, live sporting events. And in December, when most of the networks are doing reruns or Christmas specials or Hallmark specials, wherever the heck they're playing or using, having a live sporting event draws numbers.
Yeah.
Millions and that is what executives want. Now it may not draw numbers in the stadium, but it draws numbers of eyeballs, as you said. And I think, I don't know if you get rid of the bowl system, but maybe pare it down a little bit.
Now, what I've said, and this is what we're talking about when we're off the air, what I have said is I'm okay with keeping the bowls if you want them, but just make that a part of the playoff system. And I'm okay with that. And
surely all these presidents and commissioners that have these doctorate degrees
I will say again,
and high-minded thinkers
I know
figure it out.
The kids that get to go places that they've never, like the NC State kids.
Going to LA.
One of them, Sam Duncan. Okay, Vonda Duncan's son, walk on NC State.
Yeah.
Got to go to San Diego, but they didn't get to make that trip. It was a little too much to go to San Diego.
It was.
And then they didn't even play. The week leading up to the game is like a reward.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not about football. I don't care what any of them says. It's not about football except for the two today.
Yeah.
And so wouldn't you rather see that more of a preparation to continue on? You'll eliminate a lot of the opt-outs, I think. And I think you have players that opt out now because they're not really playing for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have
Then
a group
offer them an NIL deal or offer to pay them.
Yeah. I mean, there need to
pay
be
them for the
something.
bowl game.
Yeah.
Why
Why
not?
not?
Well, they give them some nice consolation prizes.
Well, I mean, that's swag and all that.
T-shirts and
Yeah,
swag,
but give them cash.
Yeah, why not?
There was a friend. You remember those old ACC All-Star games that used to barnstorm around in the springtime? Well, you had a lot of these guys that were seeing Mark Allery and all these guys that were big names you see on TV.
Come to the high school gyms.
He comes to the high school gyms, small college gyms, or whatever. And the guy that was running that's the former athletic director at LR, Neil McGahee. He'd pay those guys. He'd pay them a couple $100 every game they went to.
Because they had already lost their amateur status anyway.
Clemson lines up a lot of autograph-type sessions after kids have finished their last season, and they get paid. They'll
you can
set
do
up
that
stocks.
now. It's NIL. Have somebody sponsor an autograph session and give the kids the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all legal
you
now.
can do it now. It's above board.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Now, I hate to go here because I know this is going to be emotional for you, Juju. Last home game for Big Ben.
Yeah, it probably is. Unless
I don't see how they get a home game if they get in the playoffs. I don't.
If they win the division, that's the only way they get it. Cincinnati's got to lose both games, and the Steelers have to win both games. That's what it's going to come down to get into the playoffs as a division winner and a home game. They could sneak in as a wild card team, but that would probably be a road game as the number 17. A bunch of things have to happen. Yeah, it'll be, and he mentioned it yesterday. And he's had his family, he's had some friends travel with him last week when they were on the road. He had his family come in Kansas City and some friends. He's doing the same thing. He's bringing in former teammates this weekend. I think he's planning for this to be the last go-around, the last hoorah for Big Ben.
You like it?
Yeah. You mean like it?
That he's
not the kind of guy that doesn't like the drama around him as much. I think he's probably decided in his mind because he doesn't want to play behind an offensive line. There's absolutely maybe the worst in pro football, and it's not a lot of times about himself. Things that I've read and things that are coming out now that he's played all year with a hip that needs replaced. He's had shoulder problems, knee problems, all kind of issues that when he's 50, when he's our age, he might be in a wheelchair. That he's had so many injuries. But I don't think he's one of those kind of guys that is, like you see in other sports and baseball and whatnot, that, their last go-around, they stop off here and play and they get a chair and they get all these special prizes. I think he just wants to play, make it the final game, maybe lead his team into the playoffs. That would be something good, and then just kind of ride off into the sunset.
Are you talking about, I know he's not going to be with the Steelers. Is he through with football?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't see anybody picking him up.
No.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't think he wants to go through all the physical stuff that need to. And you said it, and we talked about it for months. He didn't take care of himself, and two, because most of the time he didn't take care of himself, he was going through rehab.
Yeah.
And he has the kind of body that just took a pounding.
Oh yeah.
Because he had the big body.
He had the big body. He was like a Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And for years he could just fight that off. But after a while, I mean, Mother Nature, the injury set in. It's tough to come back off of.
One final thought here. We lost John Madden, and on Saturday, Christmas Day, they premiered this John Madden special that they had done, and then we lost him 3 days later. Now, we were talking about this before we went on. John Madden never had a losing season as a coach. His overall win percentage is second in NFL history. Went in Hall of Fame in 2006. He worked for all four major networks. CBS from 79 to 93, Fox from 94 to 2001, ABC from 2002 to 2005, and NBC from 2006 to 2008.
I don't remember the NBC gig for some reason. It just doesn't stick in my mind.
It doesn't to me as well, and that's why I'm kind of
for CBS and Fox, yes.
NBC,
CBS.
Okay, he was the color commentator for Sunday Night Football. That's what he
And
did,
did the
because that's
Super
all
Bowl.
That's all NBC had.
Yeah.
So, football night in America, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find out who his play-by-play guy
That was Al Michaels.
Was it Al Michaels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at ABC and at NBC. It was Al Michaels.
So they both made the move. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Vin Scully was one of his first play-by-play broadcasters when he was with CBS, because everybody thinks of Pat Summerall, but Summerall was like the Jim Nance right now. He was off doing golf, U.S. Open,
right.
and tennis, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when the NFL season started, they'd pair John Madden with Vin Scully, some guy named Frank Gleber, who used to do the Cowboy games, and a couple of others.
Forgot about Summerall doing other sports than football.
Yeah.
You're right, golf.
early on. Yeah.
Early on.
Joe Buck's another one
Yeah.
in baseball.
And when Madden went and Summerall went to Fox, a lot of those guys from CBS went with him. A lot of production people. Terry Bradshaw went.
Well, it's because
He went
CBS lost the rights
Yeah.
to Fox. That's when they lost. When I was growing up, you only had football on CBS and NBC.
Yeah.
NBC was AFC or AFL. CBS was NFL, And then
that's right.
ABC just had Monday Night Football. That's where that tie-in came from.
Right.
But John Madden.
ABC used to have AFL, too.
Yeah. Can
For-
you
for a
imagine
while.
how much money he made from lending his name for the video game?
No.
Just the rights to that.
You name the commercials he used to do.
Oh, I know. Pitchman. Yeah.
Pitchman.
Pitchman.
Miller Lite.
Yeah.
He did Tough Actin', Tinactin'.
And
Great pitch.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl 11 winner with the Raiders, 12-time Emmy Award winner, 1984 National Sportscaster of the Year, Yahoo Sports Top 50 All-Time Network TV Sports Announcer, 2002 the Pete Rozelle Radio TV Award. He's in the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame, California Hall of Fame, and the National Sports Media Association Hall of Fame.
And who can forget, guys, his phobia about flying.
Yeah.
That Madden bus would
Yep.
would wheel into the
Yep.
side of the game.
And that came from in 1960. He lost friends when the California Polytech State University football team plane crashed. They lost 16 players, team student manager, and a football booster. And it wasn't until 1979 they had his first panic attack on a flight.
Yeah.
And that's when he changed it. And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is he's married for 62 years.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
One son. Had
Where
two
did
sons.
he play his college football? Was it at?
Out west somewhere.
Let me give you this. He had one son to play at Brown, and the other son attended Harvard.
Wow.
That tells you the intelligence.
I think it was a
that-
junior college, maybe, or San Diego State.
And he
something
played
like
with
that.
somebody of note. I'm flipping back there. He played at the College of San Mateo. And
San
who
Mateo.
was it? John Robinson.
Yeah, they were buddies. Growing
They
up.
were.
John Robinson.
Sure
Later
was.
USC fame.
Yeah.
The Rams.
And the Rams. Here's a what if, and I saw this in one of the specials on NFL Network. When Al Davis, Al Davis fired the coach before Madden. I think his name was John Rauch, something
Okay.
like that. Same time that the Steelers were looking for a coach. Supposedly, Al Davis went to Chuck Noll, who was the coach with Baltimore, is like right after the Super Bowl III, went to Chuck Noll and said, I want you to be the coach of the Raiders, because Al Davis and Chuck Noll were on the same staff of the San Diego Chargers in 1960. They had a staff of Sid Gilman, Al Davis, Chuck Noll. But anyway, Chuck Noll turned him down, took the job with the Steelers. And before Al Davis had a chance to ask John Madden, who was an assistant with the Raiders, Noll asked Madden to come and be his defensive coordinator with the Steelers. Madden thought about it for a time before he got a call from Al Davis and said, I want you to be the coach of the Raiders. But had John Madden said yes, or had Chuck Noll said yes to the Oakland Raiders, history would have changed completely.
Madden was born in Minnesota. They moved to California. He attended a parochial school with John Robinson. And he played one season at College of San Mateo and then got a football scholarship to Oregon, studying pre-law, playing football with John Robinson, redshirted because of a knee injury and a knee operation, then went back to Mateo, and then Gray Harbor College before transferring to Cal Poly. And he played offensive defense, earned a Bachelor of Science in Education and a Master's in Education, all-conference offensive tackle and catcher for the Cal Poly baseball team. He was drafted in the 21st round, 244th overall by the Philadelphia Eagles, and got injured the knee in training camp and never played.
Yeah.
Yep, never played. But he definitely missed. Definitely missed.
Absolutely.
Now, we're in overtime. We're all hungry, and Brookwood's open. So
Enough said.
that's going to be it.
It's still
for
foggy
today.
outside, too.
Yeah.
That's going to be it for today. Back Monday. We'll be back Monday morning, correct?
Correct.
We'll be back Monday
New
morning.
year.
New year. We'll have that matchup for the following Monday for the national championship game. Remember.
How about Saturday? We'll be.
You boys are here tomorrow.
We're here.
You're here
Yeah,
tomorrow.
The boys are back in
The
town.
boys are back in town. They took
first show of the
Christmas
new
off.
year. The
First show of the new
new
year.
year.
Yep, boys are back in town. Have a great day. Have a happy new year. Be safe. See you next week. I will.
next year.